Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Indian Racing League in the Singapore circuit, Marina Bay Street Circuit as it's called, and we are in round 9 of 11 of season 6. The championship fight is hotting up, and my co commentator Gaurav, or Easy Level Bot, will be joining us very soon. So stay tuned for him to join. And let's see what we have here. We have 14 drivers in. Sid Venkatesh, who is the 15th driver time mid college, so it's a good turnout from the division 1 boys, and let's see what they can do, they can produce over here. It's a very tough circuit to master, curbs which are unforgiving, and 23 corners I'm told, over the course of 31 laps, so that's a lot of corners, more than 1000 gear changes across a 50% race distance, and it is the longest race on the calendar in terms of time. You can see it is pitch dark here because it is a night qualifying and a night race, and should be fun. Weather could always play a factor. We don't know yet what the weather is going to be for the race, but it seems pretty dry for qualifying here, and let's see who can put it on pole. We also could crown a new champion tonight if VFX in the Ferraris outscores Sumer by 13 points, who is in the Williams. So we'll keep an eye out on those two, but we'll also keep an eye out on the likes of Ethan, Hushrav, and Azun, who are all mathematically in the championship fight tonight. Let's see what happens in the next 18 minutes for qualifying, and then we'll have the race of 31 laps, and that should be a fun race. I think an Alfa Romeo has just exited the pits. I'm assuming that is Epic Brothers, and he is one to watch out for always in qualifying. So let's see what he can do. Epic Brothers, first one out on the track, and let's see what he can do as Azun doing what he does best, retiring from the session. And yeah, he'll start from the back of the field as Nishan says hello. And Nishan, one of the drivers who's usually racing with us, but he's apparently giving his studies more importance than league racing, and that's very surprising for me to hear, but that's how it is. So I see one of the blue cars. I don't know if that's Alpine of Shah. It is Alpine of Shah, who has just exited the pits as well, so he is out on track as well, but not a lot of action on the track right now. Sid Venkatesh has just joined, and Nishan, in terms of championship, VFix needs to outscore Sumer by 13 points tonight if VFix is to be crowned champion in this race. However, if the difference is lesser than that, the championship will continue on to at least the next round, which is in Shanghai in China. In Constructors Championship, I don't think it will be decided tonight or in the next race as well. The gap between Ferrari and Williams, it is just 6 points right now, with Ferrari leading that marginal advantage. So that, I think that is one battle which will go until the end of the season. So that should be very exciting to watch, as Epic Brothers is preparing his tires for the first hot lap of the session, and let's see what he does. While he does that, let me just quickly decrease the game volume, because I think when I went on board with him, the audio was a bit too loud for my liking. So let me just quickly do that, if I am able to find audio settings, which apparently is a very tough thing to do. Here we go, audio settings. Let me just decrease it by 2. Yeah, much better. Oh, he has invalidated already, and Shah will be the next person who has just started a lap. Let's see what Shah can do. He's missed a lot of races this season, so he's nowhere in the championship fight, but this is his first time out in Division 1, and let's see what he can do in the final 3 races of the season. Meanwhile, let me just quickly share the link with a few people. Oh, Shah has completely lost it. Where is that? Oh, he missed the braking, it seems like, and he has gone very deep into that corner. Let's see what Shadow Sword can do here. Oh, Shadow Sword losing it, and he is DNF'd. Shadow Sword, that's the commentator's curse. He's crashed out. The Williams, that does not help him at all, and his teammate Sumer, who is also on a lap right now, but behind him. So the car will be cleared, but Shadow Sword crashing, I think that's a great sight for Nishan in the comments. He would love that the Williams has crashed out, and Sumer is just getting out of the way for someone. So no lap time yet, and I want to see if is Vicky on a lap. Vicky is. Is there anyone towards the end of the lap? I think Hushra is on an out lap. Behind him, it's very surprising that we have. Well, there you go. Shah is the first time, which is not representative at all. So he will have to go again. Let's see what Vicky can do here. And Kavudi has started moving as well. VFX has just started a lap. So alright, so PSI Legends is also in the second sector. Okay, let's go with Hushrav then. Let's see what he can do. He is through the first sector now, and now navigating the very tricky section of the track and riding about just till the edge of the track, grazing almost the curb but keeping it on the black stuff. And let's see if he goes to second or the third. He keeps it in third, riding the curb nicely, avoids the inside curb completely there, and taking a lot of liberties with track there. Short shifting to third and then fourth on the exit as he prepares himself for the next hard braking zone down into the end of the second sector, where the third sector now starts. And it's a series of 90-degree corners here before he sees the start finish straight. There is, I think it is PSI who's going to finish the lap first. There you go, PSI now across the line in his Ferrari, and he goes P1 with 136.4. Coming back to Hushrav now, who has a couple of corners to navigate before he sees the start finish straight, and he downshifts to 5th before shifting up to 6th, and across the line it's a 37.8, so he must have made a mistake somewhere. Let's see what VFX can do here. VFX pushing hard as you can, and across the line he goes. Championship leader with a 39.3, so that probably is a race run. He cannot possibly be 2.5 seconds behind his teammate. Is Vicky on a lap? No, he is not. Oh, Kavudi has retired. Kavudi has retired, and that is in the third sector. So that's not going to help. And no teams. Jin has not gone on a set of wet tires, at least not yet. I don't think he's going to do that anytime soon, not in this session. I think. Is Utkarsh on a lap? I think he's just started one. Let's see what he can do. Vicky has invalidated his lap again, so that will not help his tires. Let's see what Utkarsh can do. In fact, let me ride on board with Utkarsh and see the kind of lines he's taking, as he puts a purple sector 1, and that's a nice line through the left-hander before he breaks down to second gear before upshifting to third and then fourth and then fifth, downshifting to fourth on the left-hander. And now comes the section that tracks the Singapore Sling. The corner has been revised a little bit in the past few years, and let's see, again avoiding that inside curve on the left hand side, braking nicely. I think he went a little bit wide than he would have wanted through, but gets a good exit nonetheless. And let's see what his second sector split is. It's a 104.2, I think. It's not a purple sector, so not going the fastest there, although his first sector was the fastest overall. And just a few corners to go before he completes the lap. This seems like a decent third sector, has hit all the apexes and is taking a reasonable amount of curb as well. So this could be a good lap from Utkarsh. I remember him being very fast in Singapore on the last game in F1 2020. Let's see if he can carry forward that pace in F1 2021. It's almost is a 37.0, and that is a competitive lap time. Is Vyom on a lap finally? No, he is not. He has invalidated his lap. Is Epic Brothers on a lap? I think he just might be. So Let's see what this lap is going to be. Oh, there's a tire in front in the middle of the track. Epic Brothers completely avoiding both the curves. And I'm not sure if he's preparing for a lap, but I think he's going for one. It's going to be a competitive lap time. It's pole position, provisional at least, with a 36.2 for Epic Brothers. And that is a good lap from Epic. Right, is Vyom going to come in? Yeah, he is coming in. So yeah, Vyom is coming back in, and I think that's the first set of runs done, unless people are going for laps again. Hushrav is in as well. Shah is just exiting the pits, and let's see what VFix is going to do. I don't think he is improving, so this is probably an in lap, or is he preparing himself for another lap, or is he doing race runs? I think he's still doing race runs on this set of tires, VFX. So this is not going to be an improvement in time. There you go, 1.2 seconds off his pace. And yeah, I think he's doing what I did yesterday. So Sumer meanwhile puts his car in a 135 already with a 135.394. So that's a time to beat, and I think that looks like a very provisional pole kind of time for him, as Gaurav has now finally joined the party. So Gaurav, how are you doing? Have you joined the lobby as well? Alright, we can't hear Gaurav yet. Maybe in a few seconds when he sorts his party out. And let's see what Shah can do. I want to go on board with Shah for this run. He's on a set of softs, so this will be a good lap time if he doesn't make any mistakes, which he rarely does, as we saw last season, the Division 2 champion defeating SSN. And I think Gaurav, we can finally hear you. Are you in the lobby?
Yes, Madhav, I am. Good evening to all our viewers. And from the streets of Meerut, I arrive into the streets of Singapore. So, yeah, don't have the visa, but I still managed to do so.
Right, so Gaurav, we are going to go on board with Shah, who is just about starting a lap. You want to take us through this lap, full on board?
Okay, yep. As Shah just starts approaching turn 1, he's trying to take the apex as much and the curve as much as he can. Another slow speed corner, easy to lose your traction here. Not really using the full width of the track to get early on the throttle, but still does it very smoothly as he approaches the first major DRS zone of this track. And as he comes down, takes the curve. Easy to invalidate your time here, but he keeps it in within the track limits. The twisty section, more or less, Singapore is a very twisty section where there is minimal room for error. An inch and you can be an inch away from your braking and you can be in the wall, but he is taking those apexes beautifully as he approaches the Anderson Bridge. Another very tricky section. If you're with ABS off, it's easy to lock up over here. But again, he approaches the hairpin very beautifully, takes the inside, gets on the throttle early, goes down into the braking. I don't have my telemetry on at all, so I'm struggling with my basic spectator controls. But as he approaches the final sector of this corner, another very tricky here. This is the most critical point where you can lose or gain a lot of time. Takes the apexes brilliantly there. I think running a very needless to say, a high downforce setup as he approaches the final perpendicular sections of the corner, takes the curve, goes on throttle, and comes home to a 137.6. So surely a lot of time scope for improvement over there. He'd be looking to make use of track evolution and try improving his time.
Indeed, a 137.6. He went just 2 tenths faster, or just less than 3 tenths faster on this lap. So probably wasn't the best of the laps from Shah, but he still has time. I think he has just about enough time to come back in and go for another run. Meanwhile, Vicky has also, well, he's not started a lap, he's on an out lap, so it will take some time before he starts his lap. And Gaurav, while we have this lull period, why don't you talk us through this track? Where do you see the challenges are? How do you like this track in general? And yeah, anything you would like to share?
Yep, I mean, there is hard to pick out one particular section in this track because it's all tricky right from the first turn to the last. But overall, I think one of the trickiest sections is where Vicky is on his outlap right now, which is the Anderson Bridge. Especially, like I said, if you are ABS off and you mess up your braking here and are turning just a bit, it is easy to lose your car completely there. And again, the final bridge in the final sector, that's another tricky section that I really find, because if you try to brake late over there and you miss, then you are just in the wall. And as we saw in the race yesterday, we had a lot of safety cars, so no room for errors here on this track, as I'd like to call it. But in my personal opinion, I do really enjoy street circuits, and I do like this track. But what I have noticed right now so far is, I don't know the race tonight, but Singapore, which is very prone to wet conditions, we've just seen dry sessions throughout this weekend.
Absolutely, it was dry in Division 2 race yesterday, which is a rare occurrence anyway, because Division 2 races, we have seen so many wet races this season, and none in Division 1. So please God, if you can give us some wet weather tonight, I would be really grateful. As Stuart is asking, Crazy Mouse Monster, for those who don't know who Stuart is asking who's in the comms. So Stuart, it's me and Easy Level Bot, or Gaurav, in the comms box tonight, as always, for Division 1. So Vicky has just started his lap, and you can see people out on the track for their final runs. Gaurav, if you can help us with the order of people, is that PSI Legends who's just through turn 4, I believe, and then is that there's another car, I think that's Sid Venkatesh,
but that I believe is very going. Yeah, he is on an outlap, PSI Legends, and behind that is the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, that's Sid Venkatesh,
and looks like he is on a hot lap.
Yeah, VFX. Sid Venkatesh is on a hot lap indeed. We'll spectate Vicky first and see what he can do. I'm not sure about his sector timings, but we'll know soon enough as he goes through that 90 days. That tire is still there. I don't know if you can see it, Gaurav, in the third sector. It's just sitting in the middle of the road, and I'm sure it's a distraction for drivers, as Vicky goes quite slow through that. Does he not want to increase? I think he did not really want to improve on his time there. That's why he has backed out of that lap. Let's see what Sid Venkatesh, our reserve for tonight, can do. He is a Division 2 driver and a very fast one at that. But let's see how he matches up to Division 1 drivers tonight. And across the line he comes for his only lap of the session. Sid Venkatesh up into P7. Wow, what a lap. 38.4. Some way off, and I think he'll be down in the bottom 10 once he is through once everyone else is through with their runs. Is Hushrav about to start a lap? I think Hushrav was about to complete one. 36.0 for Hushrav. And who's next? I think there's a Red Bull I see, which is, I think Vyom has just started a lap. Jin has just started a lap as well. VFix is behind him. Where is PSI Legends? PSI Legends is not really going to improve. He's short shifting his way through that because he has invalidated this attempt.
So VFix is going to start, and behind him we have not Sume, who is, I believe, going to come.
Yeah, it's Sumer who's going to cross the line next. And Vicky has retired from the session.
Retires.
Yeah, let's go. Not Sumer. Is it a 34? No, it's just about not. 35.065. Almost in the 34s. What a lap from Sumer. Is Hushrav going for another one? No, he's not. What about Epic Brothers? Keep an eye out on VFix as well. He's on the mediums, remember. So it will be tough for him. Utkarsh has retired in the session. That's, I think, in the pits. Where is VFix? VFX has just been through the first sector now, so it will be a while before he
would be in the middle sector. Yep.
Yeah, and Epic Brothers now. Let's see what Epic Brothers can do. Is there anyone else who's completing a lap? What about
Epic Brothers is about close to a 10th up on his time. Meanwhile,
3/10 up now, 3.5 tenths up through the second sector. So if he really pulls it off, he could be on the front row. But does he have enough left in his tires to make it to pole position? PSI Legends makes it back into the pits. Vyom has put a 36.4. PSL Legends is retired, that's in the pit, so it's fine. And Epic Brothers now, one corner to go before he's coming back in.
And he comes out.
He backs out of it.
I think he's just trying to.
So that practically leaves Shah, I think. Shah across the line, goes P7, and VFix across the line in just a few seconds. That will be the end of qualifying for us tonight. VFix across the line, the championship leader goes P5 with a 36.4. He's been out-qualified with the likes of Vyom, Hushrav on the mediums. So VFix will start P5. Is Sumer going for another one? No, he is not. 11 seconds down on his time. So that settles it, Gaurav. People who are chasing VFX in the championship are on the front row, and behind them is Epic Brothers and Vyom on the second row with VFX and PSI. Though it's a Ferrari third row on the grid with the reserve of Utkarsh and Sid Venkatesh both making up into the top 10. Only 10 drivers actually setting a time, and lot of people not setting one. So Kavudi, Ethan, Jin, Shadow Sword and Azun, 5 drivers not setting a time at all.
Here's what I'm thinking. If they are not serving any bans, here's some news for you, Malav. It's a mixed conditions race. And it's a dry start while it's an end in, I think it's an end in rain. So these drivers not setting these times, I'm highly inclined to believe that they are going to start on the hards and just go on that switch for the wets. That's what I am inclined to believe. I'm not very sure.
Well, I expect someone to be on the hards. Yeah, no problem, Gaurav. So I expect at least one out of that bottom 5 to be on the hards, but you never know. I'm really bad with flags, so if someone can help me with flag is Jin running, I really don't know which flag is that, which country's flag is that. So someone help me with that. But yeah, thank God, thank the Codemasters servers tonight, as they have somehow randomized a wet session for us tonight. It's a mixed conditions, as Gaurav said, so we should have some in hitting the track sometime during the race. Let's hope it's after some time, and let's hope it also dries out after that. Would make it really interesting, but probably that's too much to ask for. We will have the formation lap coming up in just a few seconds, so stay with us and subscribe if you're new to the channel if you have not done that yet. Slovakia or Slovenia, says Nishan. Alright, you're good with flags, or you're just trolling as always. I will have to believe you because I have no idea. Let me just Google that while people are... Yeah, it's Slovakia. You're absolutely right, Nishan. Slovakia is the flag. Unless you're in a party chat with these people and you instantly knew the answer. That's impressive.
I'm back with you, Mother.
Alright, so it's not Serbia. I don't think it is Serbia. I think it was Slovakia. But either ways, got a formation lap. And what do you think the strategies are going to be? I know there's rain hitting, but how many of those drivers in the bottom 5 do you think are going to actually put on the hard tires?
I'm going to bet for all of them.
All of them. Wow, that's bold. That's very bold. We're still waiting for the game to start the formation lap. I'm still stuck on this screen where you can see the entire pit lane. And
yeah, same for me.
I think
because a lot of those front runners did their stint on the mediums.
Oh, PSA Legends has left the session again, so he will have to rejoin. I don't have the menu controls. Now I do.
Yeah, now I have.
And oh my God, you're absolutely right. Hard tires for everyone in the bottom 5. Wow.
So yeah, I think they are going for a one-stop where they see the hards can do about 26, 27 odd laps, and I think if the way they've planned it, the rain might just hit in the last few laps. So it's just a one switch to inters in all likelihood and see the checkered flag. Probably that being the reason as well why we have Hushrav, Epic Brothers, Vyom and VFix setting their time on the mediums. Meanwhile, Sumer should really look to maximize on his soft run and see whatever best he can do.
Yeah, he would want to pit as early as he can and get a good maybe gap to everyone ahead. and then go on the mediums, I presume. I'm not entirely sure. Nova says it's Serbia. Well, I checked, I googled both those flags, and they are very similar, especially on a small screen that I'm watching this. So, yeah, probably it is Serbia. But all right, what do you think the medium runners are going to do? So we have four of them, Gaurav, Bushra, Epic Brothers, Vyom, and Vifix. What do you think their strategy is going to be? How much can they stretch those mediums in terms of laps, do you think?
We saw, I think, Ace to 20 laps or so yesterday in our race, if I'm not wrong. So that clearly shows to show. I mean, the
But there were, I
race
think, two
Singapore
safety
can
cars or
always be
maybe three
eventful.
during
Yep.
that period.
And precisely
So,
why I said, I mean, coming to that point itself, because the race can be so eventful. So the hard runners, what kind of advantage do they have? Because safety car coming out would mean a lot of people boxing for a fresh set of tires. So these medium and soft runners might have that edge over there. But then again, the hard runners don't have to pit at all whenever a safety car comes out. So track position, they could just gain up critical positions. So yeah, anything
absolutely.
can happen, and yeah, and I think from a medium standpoint, they would also be essentially targeting for a one stop, but maybe also banking at the fact that there
The
can
rain
be a
comes
safety car
early.
that can
Yeah,
come out,
probably. All right, so
or rain
Somer
comes
and
early.
Hushraf and everyone else behind them have now put their cars on the grid slots. And while we wait for the lights to come on the screen, maybe people in the comments can put in their predictions in the chat. Who do you think is going to finish in the top three? But here we go. The lights should be on this, and they're not on yet. Now they are, and five lights are on the screen. Its lights are out, and we are underway. It's a good start from Sumer, but an equally good one from Hushraf. Is he going to challenge? No, he's not. Epic Brothers gets into P3, and is he going to challenge anyone? I think he has just about stayed behind Hushraf for now, but Vyom is hot on his heels. Vyom can actually take a
Quickly.
position here. Shah and Utkarsh behind are swapping positions. Utkarsh has probably just about maintained his P8 with Shah in P7, and it's a good start from Sumer up front. 8 tenths the gap, Gaurav.
Yep, so those soft runners giving him the launch he wants. And meanwhile, there are three cars almost going there. Shadow was there looking for a move on Utkarsh. Decides to stick behind. Meanwhile, the McLaren of Vicky also getting hot. And it's a great battle down there behind. Ethan being overtaken there.
No, Ethan just overtook
Oh,
one of the McLarens. I think he
oh yeah.
overtook
Yep.
Kavudi. So Vicky has
Yeah.
lost positions there, and Sid Venkatesh as well. He was P8, now down into P14, and he loses one more position to Azun in P15. Look at the gap up front. 1 second is the gap. So Sumer using those softs to good advantage. He has to stretch and stretch and stretch as much as he can. That sounds like something a gym instructor would say. Here goes the McLaren, and Williams side by side as Vicky and Utkarsh are battling, and Vicky just about taking that position. No, it was Shadow Sword, I'm sorry. Vicky up into
Yep.
P9 or clawing back places after losing a few in the first few sectors.
Vicky is really looking, has the pace he believes, and probably gets a warning for that track extension over there. But he's really pushing and also looking to maximize his soft sprint as much as he can.
Absolutely. As end of the lap one, not Sumer leads, Hushraf leads, Epic Brothers leads, Vyom leads, VFX. The top five have remained intact. I think PSI has just about joined back in time, so he maintains his P6. Shah into P7, Utkarsh in P8, and VFX and Vicky rather in P9, and then Shadow Sword, the first of the hard runners in P10. Is Kavadi going for a move on Ethan? I don't think he's close enough. He's deploying his battery, but then decides against it. There's no point in wasting your battery right now, and he'll have to stay behind for a few more corners. DRS will be enabled at the end of this lap, so next time they're on the back straight, Kavudi will have a chance, but so will Ethan, because Shadow Sword is within striking distance.
Yep, fairly clean and incident-free first 1.5 laps for all these runners on the grid. That's really nice to see. They're looking to play the long game here. All those drivers probably learning a few lessons from Bahrain as well.
Absolutely, that's really good to see. No major incidents. In fact, probably no incidents at all. You can see the pack is quite bunched up and it's not really separated. That means while Sid did have a bad start and lost a few positions, we did not really see exactly what happened there. But he still has his car intact, doesn't seem to have any wing damage, and is sticking to the back of Azul. Watching VFix right now, who is trying to get close to Vyom, who has lost touch to Epic Brothers. So VFix would be very, very keen to get past his Red Bull. Hushrav meanwhile has closed up to Sumer. While the gap was more than a second, but Hushrav has closed it down. So those medium tires, in maybe a lap or two, Gaurav, I reckon they will be faster than the softs. That's how quickly the softs wear out.
Yep, and they would have put in a couple of laps on there during their qualifying, so I'm assuming they would be starting at a 10% wear already.
Meanwhile, look at Hushrav trying to overtake Sumer for the lead of the race, and it's going to be an easy move. I think down the inside goes Hushrav, and he's made the most trick. Already lap 3, first time they got DRS, and he's passed. VFX has not gone past Shah, and PSI are battling. And I think Shah has overtaken PSI for PSI and Vicky. I think we're battling as well. Utkarsh in close proximity behind, and just like that, the medium runners seem to be faster. Just like that, it was so. The degradation for the soft tires is really steep.
Right, and starting probably at a 10% wear on those softs, and it will be interesting to see how Sume works his whole strategy out for the entire race. Meanwhile, Epic Brothers also coming in hot on Sume. So both Epic and Hushrav have really warmed up their tires and got them to the optimum functioning or optimum functioning range of those tires. So
and Hushrav has really got a gap to Sumer as well. So Sumer will not have DRS. Might be sitting duck on the back straight. Now, do you think he should pit and just get rid of these tires because they're clearly not working for him? And if he pits now, he gets a very huge undercut on other soft runners. At the same time, he also manages to drive his car for a few laps in clean air, which might give him some good lap times.
Oh,
look at him going wide there.
Clean air? Yep.
And I think he has already been overtaken. No, not yet. But now, Epic Brothers, look at him. It's so easy for him to gain time on Sumer through the corners. And this time towards the right he goes. So Sumer defending the inside, but to no avail. And Epic Brothers is up into P2. PSI Legends is battling someone, I think. I think that's Vicky. And PSI Legends re-overtakes Shah, and Vicky has made it way past as well. Shah goes deep, and Utkarsh makes his way through, or has he? Shah is coming back.
Oh. There's a slight contact between the Ferrari and the McLaren. But I don't know what that's the internet. Thankfully, nobody has their car damaged. So that's good to see.
What a train of cars this is. Look at that Kavudi trying to get past Ethan. And is anyone close? I don't think anyone is. So no overtakes on this back straight. And this midfield...
Shah is really doing, as much as there's a gap between Shah and the other leaders, he's doing a good job defending, holding his position. So he knows where he has to defend and get the best exit. Because it's not a track where you can get a plenty of opportunities for overtaking.
Absolutely. Up ahead, Vyom is within striking distance of Sumer, who's going to lose another position. And look at VFix as well. So, there's someone in the pits. I think that was Utkarsh in the pits. And let's see what Vyom can do here. And can VFix make his way through? So Sumer will not have DRS. And VFix would be very keen to get past his championship rival. He will get double slipstream advantage, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. Vyom will make his way easily through the Williams of Sumer. You can see him going through the right, and his VF is going to dive down the inside. No, he does not. Stays behind for a few more corners. Shadow Sword and PSI going side by side. Not really side by side, but
Sumer really needs to evaluate his options here, what he can do. And there is a yellow flag.
I think that's Kavudi. It's a virtual safety car.
I
think did Kavudi lose a lot of positions there?
Kavudi just came out of the pits, so Kavudi. I think there's a side plate missing for. No, it isn't. I'm not sure why that safety car came out.
It's a virtual safety car, so it should go away soon.
Oh yeah, virtual
Shah
safety
is
car.
still
My bad.
defending from Vicky, who has now got a 3-second time penalty to deal with, and Shadow Sword is within striking distance of PSI, who just is out of DRS of Vicky. So next time they're on the back straight and the softs will not be working as well. I want to see if Sumer pits. The virtual safety car is still being deployed. This might be a perfect opportunity. Well, not perfect, but a near perfect opportunity for Sumer to dive in the pits. Does he do
And he
that? He
does.
does. Oh, someone else is in the pits as well. Is that
And
Vyom?
Vyom.
Was it a
Yep,
late
and
and
Vyom.
just like that
And
it has been enabled, so
yep,
virtual safety car is ended. Vyom in the pits. Does he have damage?
yep. There is a wing. There is a pit bull. Yep, wing change. Vyom is having a wing change, and there are a lot of people in the pit. All the soft runners deciding to box, and they are boxing for hards.
Right.
So
So it seems like the
definitely
rain
going
is
to
a few
go.
laps away, not coming down anytime soon, and that's where the likes of Shadow Sword can take advantage. He is 3.5 tons behind PSI Legends. He's not gaining enough, and probably should have used battery to get past. But this time around, he's trying to go around the outside, but just does not have enough of an overspeed on PSI, and PSI, the Ferrari, will stay out for one more lap. I want to see when he pits. I'm assuming he'll pit at the end of this lap, but look at it, is clearly slower than Shadow Sword. But Shadow Sword, being the nature of the circuit, has to stay behind for at least until the end of this lap.
Shadow needs to really line him up, either take him on the inside of this hairpin or otherwise line his exit so that he can take him on the DRS.
Yeah, look at that's a brilliant
And
exit from Shadow Sword. There was a good line through there, but now as they go through the back straight, I don't think the straight is long enough to make a move. PSI Legends defends the
yeah,
inside, and Shadow Sword just about not able to overtake. So this is hurting him. Probably should have used his battery on the first. Oh, Shadow Sword completely. What? That was
why
a very
I'm not
weird
sure why
line
he
through
did
there.
that. Oh, I think he's got damage. Yeah, does he? No, he doesn't. No,
I don't think he's got damage. He
so just
completely missed his braking point, it felt like.
yep.
And he'll have to wait a few more corners, but I think PSI should be coming in at the end of this lap. Does he? No, he stays out. He stays out, PSI. What a legend. He's the only soft runner on
PSI
the
Legends,
grid
as
right
the
now.
name says.
Yeah, absolutely. As the name says, as the likes of Ethan and Kavudi have now almost caught them up. So expect them to be in the fight as well. As I think Shadow Sword does not want to wait around any longer. This time on the back straight, he should have a clear run on the Ferrari and is likely, very likely, to make the move stick.
Yep.
Here goes Shadow Sword. Does he
He's
have enough
closing in.
overspeed? No is the answer. PSI Legends, brilliant defending once again. Goes a little bit deep, but I think he'll still keep the position, will he? Yes, he will. Shadow Sword trying to go round the outside. PSI Legends has the inside line, which will turn to the outside of the next corner. And Shadow Sword not able to get through. And look at Ethan and Kavudi have now caught up to both of them up ahead. It is an easy-going race for brothers. Vivix trying to make inroads into the Alfa Romeo, but he's 3.5 seconds behind. And Shadow Sword now is more under attack from Ethan than he's clear to overtake PSI. Let's see what he does this time around. Once again using his battery and DRS. I don't think it's close enough. Yeah, there you go. Once again, brilliant defending from PSI. I've said that too many times already, but that's exactly what the Ferrari is doing, Gaurav.
And perfect positioning of his car on the track, and because of left and right consecutive left and right handers, he's defending the inside and getting the optimum defensive line for the next corner.
But just as I said that,
now
Shadow Sword is trying to
he
make
goes
his way
side by
past,
side.
and he's still
And
trying to hold on to his position. PSI, is he pitting now? No, he's not. Wow, what? He's still going for it.
He's getting
As
the
further
life out of
behind,
those soft tires
Kavudi
as
has
much
gotten
as he can.
past. Kavudi has almost gotten past. Ethan has he? I think Ethan will have the outside line. They're still side by side. And
There's
PSI
a little
Legends
pushing and shoving
is
down there.
out in front.
Four cars battling for positions.
PSI Legends. This time, I think it's a lost battle, or is it? He has his red light
But
blinking,
PSI
which
Legends,
means is he going to? Is I think Kavudi tried. Oh!
Oh, and there's contact and Kavudi spins.
Kavudi was trying to avoid the cars in front because he was catching them at a rate of knots. Shadow Sword has made his way
Probably.
past, and Ethan might as well. I'm not entirely sure. Ethan. Oh, PSL Legends goes very wide.
I'm not
Almost.
sure if there was a push from Ethan or if he goes wide, but
Oh!
I don't know. It's looking very dodgy for me here.
And
There's a
Kavudi has
yellow
retired
flag
from the
somewhere for
session.
Kavudi.
Is that going to be a safety
Is
car?
that
It is a safety car.
Yes, it is.
And that's perfect time for PSL Legends to pit. And I have a feeling Not Sumer has wing damage. It doesn't seem apparent on from this angle. But maybe it's a wing damage. Hushrab and Epic Brothers and VFX all in the pits. I'm assuming for a set of hard tires. Or I think it seems to be mediums. So they are very sure the rain is coming. So that's why they are. Oh no, it's hards for
Bushra with a
Hushrab.
set of hearts.
Hushrab with a set of hards. Epic Brothers and VFX both on mediums. Shadow Sword will continue, but he will not gain any places from that. Is Sumer going to pit? Yes, he is, and I want to see if he has wing damage, because there was contact between his front wing and the rear tires of PSI Legends, and I want to see if Sumer gets a wing change done. There are a few drivers which overtake them in the likes of Vyom and Shah and others. I think Hushav in the pits, and it is a wing change for Sumer. So PSI and Sumer have once again collided. And Sumer is on softs. What? Why is he on softs? Unless the rain is coming very, very early. Or is that a glitch for Sumer? And it says softs, but his tires are yellow. No, that's PSI in front of him. So Sumer is out on softs, the only driver to be on those red marked tires. And I think we have a period of some kind of respite from all the racing we have seen in the past 8 laps. Rain is still some time away, I believe. And Hushraf looks to be in a good position right now.
Looking at Sume's choice, so I mean that's those soft tires. Fresh set of softs would be like 8 or 9 laps, 9 good laps, 8 or 9 good laps.
I think 9 would be stretching it, not a lap more than 9. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yep. So does that mean we will see rain in around lap 17 or 18?
Maybe. Well, a few of those 9 laps will be under the safety car. Let's say 2 laps, or at least a lap under the safety car. So I think if the rain does not start hitting the track, and if it's not enters time by lap 18 or 19, Sumer could be in trouble here, and he will have to make another pit stop. So he would be praying for the rain to hit the track very, very quickly in maybe the next 4 or 5 laps. That's where he'll really have advantage, and then pit on straight for intermediates or full wets. But what a good position for Hushraf. Shadow Sword has overtaken, and Ethan as well, VFX. So VFX has his work cut out now.
Yep. At least one of the rivals is he's still looking at them right at the back of the grid. So, but Sume on those softs, of course, PSI, Utkarsh, Azum, Jin are not going to make it easy for him. But he really needs to find as good as exits as he can from those corners and try to really maximize his soft run. Because the comeback time is real for Sume.
Absolutely. The back has more or less bunched up. Sid Venkatesh, the last car, is now just going through the first and second corners. So I think the safety car should be in at the end of this lap. And we can go racing again. Because it's night time, you really can't see how overcast it is. So you don't know if the rain is on its way or not. And that's a real shame. But it is on its way from the looks of it. And let's see what everyone else can do here. As Caesar with the stats, if VFX stays where he is, and if Sumer stays where he is, VFX will be the driver's champion, because he will outscore Sumer by more than 12 points tonight. We'll keep an eye out on positions as well, but it's still two-thirds of the race to go, Gaurav, and I don't think neither of these drivers are going to stay where they are right now.
Yep, and definitely you can look to see a lot of position shuttling. We have old hard runners. We have fresh mediums, especially VFix behind. So everybody's just going to look to take as whatever position they can, but also be very safe at the same time, because no room for error, and it's a marathon, not just a sprint. So they really need to be tactful in there when they want to attack and when they really want to hold back.
Yep, some golden Lewis Hamilton quotes by my fellow commentator here tonight. But I think the safety car is in this lap, so Husrav will lead the pack and he will dictate the pace. He will for sure allow enough time for the safety car to peel into the pits before he goes racing again. Temperatures, Gaurav, would be a difficult thing to do on those hard tires. I think Husrav has just done about enough to let the safety car back into the pits, but he'll have to be very careful of a very fast Epic Brothers behind. I think he has gone. Yeah, he has gone, Husrav, and he's got a good start. I believe you can see, expect some weaving on the straight as Shadow Sword does that to some extent, and Husrav keeps his lead up ahead. Further behind, Vyom is under attack from Shah. As Vyom is on the hards, Shah is on the mediums, and what is Sumer up to? Jin and Vicky have exchanged position. You can see just about in front, as now Sumer tries to overtake a few cars. Oh, PSI Legends! No, not again! PSI Legends has retired from the session. You could just see it was happening. You could just feel that there was going to be more contact. It is yellow flags and not a safety car, or a virtual safety car for that matter. We continue racing. Epic Brothers is on the hunt on Husrav, and Husrav seems to be struggling on those hards. He will take a lap or a lap and a half to get temperatures in, but let's see what VFX can do as well. There's a safety car now.
There's a safety car?
And
now isn't that too late, a safety car? Oh, come on. I don't know. Did something else happen or what?
I think that was the only incident, but probably it was enough. You could see PSI's car completely launched into space after contact with Sumer, and that really did not look pleasant at all.
Let's see. Vicky, I'm not sure what was caught on the stream. I might have to rewind and check. But
yeah, I want to see if anyone pits. I don't think the top runners will pit. Oh, Husrav? Not in the pits. No one. Oh, there's someone in. Vyom has left the session. Is Sumer pitting? No, he's not. He's staying out. Right, so we hardly had a lap. I don't think it was a full lap either before the safety car was deployed again. I hope Vyom can join back as soon as he can, because he is in the hunt for some good points tonight. He's P6 right now without having to pit until the end. I'm assuming Codemasters have coded a time to the rain and not lap. So if the safety cars come out like this, that brings the rain, sooner rather than later in terms of laps.
Yep.
I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm just hoping that's how it is coded.
Yep. Even, the way we get the information for rain, the measure for us is time, right? So hopefully that's what happens. But I'm really not too sure, because I remember I did a race in Belgium. In lap 10, Jeff was like, there's rain in 10 to 15 minutes, but the rain came in lap 20, so that was really like 10 laps means it eventually came in 20-25 minutes, so I'm not very sure. But let's see, it's going to be an interesting end to this race. We've already had so much But meanwhile, I just rewinded and had a look at the stream, and I saw PSI Legends car flying there.
Yeah, he was absolutely flying, and well, that's some really good camera work by me, if I may say so. But
Oh, indeed, the right moment.
but is it safety car in this lap? I don't think it is. I don't see the message on the top, but it could very well be in. Sometimes it's a very late message which comes from the race control. If it's not coming now, I don't think it will the end of this lap. So we'll have one more lap under the safety car. But yeah, that looked really scary. I mean, that. I don't know when was the last time we saw a crash like this when a car was completely airborne for at least a couple of seconds before they, you know, they have a touchdown on the ground again. Jin and Azun swapping positions. I think they're fine now between P8 and P9 teammates from last season. Jin and Azun had a really good season with Mercedes. Were not really challenging for the constructors, but I think they ultimately did come P4 in the constructors, and both of them had really good race pace, if not qualifying pace, throughout the season. Azun this time as well, he's P3, remember, in the championship, just behind Sumer, and right now he is ahead of Sumer once again. So let's see what that happens there.
I was wondering, could Sume have pitted for another fresher set of softs?
He would have had one. He did I think he did 2 laps, right? On 2 runs on soft. So I don't think he has a fresh softs, there, which means right now he's committed to be going to the rain period on this set. Maybe it would have been a smart decision to then correct his quote-unquote mistake and go on mediums, just lose one position to Venkatesh, but he seems to be adamant and he seems to be very inclined to follow his intuition that he will not have to pit again before they switch on to the wet tires. And let's see what happens there. I don't see any drops of rain, and I remember one race, I'm not sure if it was Indian Racing League or some other league, where there were drops. So it was raining but it was drizzling, but it never was wet enough for intermediates. Forget the full wet tires.
About IRL Spain. I wasn't.
No, it was Singapore. I remember it was Singapore for sure. So maybe another league. I'm not sure. Maybe another season. Definitely another season in IRL. So that could also, be a thing here. That it's tricky conditions. You can't put on a set of inters because that would make you very slow and the inters will overheat. But yeah, that's something which could have happened. Nishan, no, I'm talking about Singapore, not Spain. So I very vividly remember this race. So maybe it was another league, I'm not entirely sure. As Hushrav once again has to lead the safety car restart, and this time he'll be hoping that he doesn't see a safety car message being displayed on those screens before the end of the first lap he does after the restart. Let's see how he manages this one. Epic Brothers was very, very keen last time around, Gaurav.
Yep, and he will try to use his softer compound to Usha.
Oh, look at that Shadow Sword on Epic Brothers. Shadow Sword is trying to make his way past, but he's just weaving right now to ensure he has enough temperature on his tires. Hushrav has made a restart, but this time Epic Brothers is much more closer.
Yep, Epic Brothers is looking hot on the heels of Hushrav. He would look soon to make the move.
Maybe this lap, Hushrav is going to defend the inside line.
Full of their batteries. And they go to
runs him off the road. Hushrav, Epic Brothers will have the inside line, and Hushrav has the inside line for the next corner. This is so close. Epic Brothers has just about, I think he might have just done about enough to take the lead of the race. Hushrav has to settle behind. Yeah, what a brilliant battle that was for a series of corners. Further behind, Sumer has made up so many positions. He's being pushed to the limit by Jinsanity, but Sumer has made up 3 positions, I think, from P12 to P9 already. Can he overtake Jin here? He has his much superior soft tires, but I don't think he's gonna make his way past unless he goes for a dive bomb, which he will not. And Jin stays ahead for P8, but on traction Sumer comes back at him. There's a car in front of Jin. It will not be easy for Sumer, and is just trying to make his way past any which way he can. but it's not going to happen in this third sector, Gaurav.
Yep, he has to wait, still wait, and look at his moment where he can get the better exit. And there's a
Oh,
yellow
Shadow
flag.
Sword! Shadow Sword had
And Shadow.
completely lost it.
Oh, that can be a
And
tricky
it's
corner if
raining!
you take the
It is
curve.
raining,
Yeah,
it's just
yup,
spits
I
of
see
rain.
droplets of
And
rain.
Sumer has just made an overtake on Jin, so that's Sumer up into P7. And now I want to see what VFix can do versus Ethan. Now, this is the tricky part. It has started raining, which means it will get wet very, very soon. And track positions right now before the pit is very important as VFix tries to make a move on Ethan. Ethan defends the inside line, or rather the outside line, but doesn't really need too much of a defense. Azun makes his way past Jin, does he? He has the inside line, and Azun goes deep, but does make his move stick. VFX still stuck
Utkarsh,
behind
I
Ethan.
see already on the inters, so I'm not sure if it's is it too soon or not. Now again, these drivers every lap will count because one driver may pit on one lap and the other driver may continue to pit on the next. So, what kind of and is the Epic Brothers really taking the hairpin very slow? So I think looking at the track right now, I think
Oh,
they
it's
should
Inter's
box.
time. It's definitely Inter's time. Vyom has been overtaken by Jin, and this is going to be a rush in the pit lane. Utkarsh has already pitted on intermediates and expect him to make up a position or two. The likes of Sid Venkatesh. Oh, Vyom going very deep, and he has DNF'd.
Oh, and
It
he's
could be a
retired from
safety
the session.
car.
Is that a safety car?
It is. It
It
is a
is a
safety car. He had
safety
saved the bacon of
car.
everyone there, and everyone can be in the pits. Vyom, I was watching him on board from, I think it was Azun or Jin, one of the two, and he was not able to brake. He just couldn't brake. That's how tough it was to bring the car to a halt, and was probably one of the slowest crashes I've seen, which has resulted in a terminal damage for a driver. Everyone in the pits. Sumer, while he did not really need to stretch his tires, but he would have definitely been wanting to be much ahead than P6 right now. He has the likes of Shah, VFX, Ethan, Hustav, and Epic Brothers. But in all that, Epic Brothers is finally leading a safety car restart this time around.
On those wet conditions. So now the race, it's the next half of the race is just going to get very interesting. So this is the third safety car that we've had. And now with rain also imminent, oh, I really can't say how the positions are going to just shuffle here during these wet conditions.
Yeah, it is a hard track to overtake anyway, and if you mix it with these conditions, it's all the more difficult. We have only half the race gone so far, and I'm not sure how long it's going to stay wet. Maybe the entirety of the race from now on, or maybe it will become dry again. We don't know.
Okay,
As
what's happening between Shadow
Shadow
and
Sword and Sid Venkatesh, yeah, I was just caught it at with the corner of my eye, and I'm not sure if that's the correct position order, but they have settled now, it seems. Vicky is still the only person in the time penalty. That's a 3-second time penalty, which probably won't be removed. And, well, we have a third safety car restart in, I think, 7 or 8 laps. We've seen more safety laps under the safety car than we have seen racing laps the last half an hour, Gaurav.
Yep, and the surprising part is that the first 8 laps were all clean without incidents, and suddenly we've got an onslaught of safety cars.
Yeah, probably one too many, honestly, in terms of safety car. I would love to
Still
see
a half
some
a race to go.
racing here. At Caesar with his Codemaster predictions again that there won't be any more safety cars or VSC because his predictions have come true once again. And well, 15 laps will make that 14 when the safety car comes in. I'm not sure if there won't be
There's
anything.
someone in the
Oh,
pits.
Azun has spun out. Or is he coming in the pits? Oh, he's coming in the pits. Is he going on wet tires? No, it's inters for him, and I'm
Uh,
not sure why he's pitting. Oh, he has wing damage. That's why he's pitting. So he had a moment somewhere, and he has now been relegated to the back of the field, which is exactly where he likes to be for starts, be it safety car starts or race starts. And as
yep,
things
it's
stand
just
now,
like
VFX will earn 16 points from this race, and Sumer will earn 12. So I don't think that is enough. So the championship will go on until the next race, at least in China, as Sid Venkatesh and Shadow Sword. You need to sort yourself out. What's going on? Once
oh
again, I
my
think I
god.
saw a swap, position swap, and it's just not happening. I don't think it's wet tire conditions right now, but it would be interesting to see if it becomes full wets. Nowhere near that right now. It's not raining that heavily, not any standing water on the track. But Azun should catch up to the field by the end of this lap, so I think the safety car should be coming in, and we'll go racing once again. And this time it will be the opportunity for Epic Brothers to surprise Hushrav with when he finally decides to bolt.
Yep, and those final couple of corners can be difficult to find the grip, especially on these wet conditions, because you really want to maximize the speed you get there, but also at the same time do not want to lose your car. Otherwise, it's more or less a straight DNF by hitting the wall on the left.
Absolutely. So safety car is in this lap. Epic Brothers will be preparing his tires, and all the more difficult now for everyone to get temperatures. Alright, so the pack is bunched up, and Epic Brothers, has he gone?
Has
I think the
gone,
top two
he's
have already
gone.
gone. They've left Ethan
Not
in their
sure.
wake.
I mean,
And is Hushrav going to overtake Epic Brothers? I don't think he's close enough. And the Alfa Romeo will lead into turn 1. Sumer and Shah. And Sumer has overtaken Shah. Sumer has overtaken, so he's up into P5. Further behind, Utkarsh was challenging Jin Sanity, but I think Utkarsh will stay behind for a few more corners. On the back straight, let's see if any kind of move Utkarsh is going to make. Not really. Up ahead, I think if all's calm and now the drivers can just keep their wits about them, they know an overtake is next to impossible in these conditions in Singapore.
the best that they can do is try sticking as close as they can to the car up ahead, try to put some kind of pressure on the driver and force him to make some kind of mistakes that may help anybody gain a position or so.
Absolutely, I think you put it absolutely correctly. You need to force a driver into a mistake. Remember, these are the fastest drivers in the server, so expect them to be very, very precise with their braking points. Shah losing his car a little bit in the exit I just saw, and he might be under attack from Jin, I think, but Jin has to stay behind. Further behind, Shadow Sword and Vicky are battling, but Vicky stays ahead of the Williams for now.
Probably getting a track extension warning there. I'm not sure what kind of how the track extension warnings tend to behave a little differently under wet conditions.
Yeah, quite possible, as V6 is practically pushing Ethan through some of the corners in the third sector, and he will be probably deploying his battery on the start finish straight if he can get a move past the Alfa Romeo. Is it? No, absolutely not. It's Alfa Tauri, but that's the thing, no DRS, and the straights are just not long enough And the two corners leading up to the straights, Gaurav, are not high traction zones that you can out traction someone and get a really good exit to make a move
And
past.
and these drivers must just be running the maximum downforce setup, so no difference in straight line speeds that they may put to an advantage. Or if somebody might just have taken that gamble, I'm not sure.
Right, so now Sumer has caught up to the top pack. Hushrav is not letting Epipathas run away with this one, but Ethan has lost touch to the top two. So, oh, Jin and Shah swapping positions. Jin finally making a move on the Alpine driver, and that is Jin up into P6. That is his highest position so far in this season, and maybe he would want to get one up on that and maybe get another position there. Vicky is diving down the inside, or is it Shadow diving down the inside of Vicky? I think Vicky was still defending earlier, but now he's behind, so that means Shadow has made a move on Vicky. That's
Shadow
one of the first.
feeling very confident on those wet conditions. So I'm thinking he'd be eager to make a few more moves.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Azun just waiting patiently behind for chaos to erupt once again, and he just picks up a few positions freely. VFix, what is he up to? Once again stuck behind Ethan. This is very similar to his situation back in season 5 behind Charles Leclerc in Mexico. I remember was stuck behind him for ages and just couldn't overtake in a wet race. Let's see what he can do this time. He's very close, practically pushing Ethan to some of these corners right on his gearbox, but once again losing out on the traction. And Ethan, if he doesn't make a mistake, he will have that P3 for now.
Yep, he just needs to keep his head down. In fact, not just him, but all the drivers, to just minimize any errors that they may make, and more or less that would then be the final running order for this race.
Absolutely. Utkarsh is now behind Shah. So Shah lost the position to Sumer at the restart and then to Jin, and is now under attack from Utkarsh. So Shah not really comfortable in these wet conditions, and it's showing as Utkarsh just gets into that overtake territory now. Let's see what he can do. It seems like one of the best opportunities in these conditions, Gaurav, is the exit out of the hairpin, which they are just about coming. Oh, Shadow Sword, just when I say that, look at that. Once again, a dive bomb, a very similar move with a virtual safety car, which saves Utkarsh's race there to some extent.
Shah just slowing down tremendously, Utkarsh reacting very promptly
there. Yeah, Utkarsh had to really slam on the brakes and swerve there.
Saying, yeah, more than the exit, Malav. I think
it's the entry.
And probably Shadow is just making the most out of it.
Yeah, he is, and it seems like drivers are preferring a wide entry to the corner to get a good exit. But that's where Shadow Sword absolutely pounces on them. He almost did a duplicate of that overtake on Vicky, which he did on Utkarsh, but this time a virtual safety car has been deployed, and that's why he has to stay behind for a few more corners as the safety car is now. Oh, Shadow Sword almost losing it. Oh, that was so close to him being out of the race as Utkarsh now sets off behind Shah. So Caesar, we have already had 2 VSCs, so I think your prediction is already proven wrong. And let's see what happens here. Hustav on the back of Epipathas, nothing doing, and I think Utkarsh on the back of Shah. The positions will not change on this occasion.
Yep, drivers just, and meanwhile Utkarsh is
he gets a great exit. Look at that. Brilliant exit out of that right-hander. Shah really struggling, and Shadow Sword makes his way through. I think Shah has wing damage there, does he? He was very slow through that section. Lost 2 positions in 2 corners. And Look at what Shadow Sword does now. Does he go for a dive bomb once again? You bet he would want to do that. Look at that Shadow Sword once again. But Utkarsh was very aware this time and places his car beautifully to defend from the charging Williams of Shadow Sword. Has suddenly found a lot of pace in these wet conditions.
Yep, he has, and he'll probably have to figure out another corner where he might just can make a move stick, because Utkarsh would now know what Shadow's favorite corner is. So it would be interesting to watch out the battle unfold between these two.
Absolutely, you can see the top 5 in one frame as Shadow's teammate Sumer is stuck behind VFX and Ethan. And Ethan is doing a really good job. I don't think he's really being very slow. He's within that 1 second of Hushra, but you can just see from the way VFX is driving, he knows these conditions suit him. He knows he can go faster, but he just can't make his way past the Alpha Tauri, and he has to stay behind for a few more laps at least. It seems like Ethan, unless he makes a mistake, VFX's chances of finishing on a podium are not very high right now.
Yep, the top 3 runners would just be looking to make sure they hold their position and hold off the defense. There aren't a lot of alternate lines also that you can probably take on this track while you are here contact. Did somebody clip the wall or something?
Maybe
I'm not sure in the
top 5 you mean, or someone else?
Top 5.
Maybe someone did. I didn't catch it really. But we'll probably get to know the difference in pace if they have done that. In the next few corners, we have a very technical and very downforce dependent sector 3 coming up, and that's where the rain has gotten heavier, Gaurav, by the way. Do you think it's time for full wets? I don't think it is just yet, but if this continues on and we have a lot of laps to go, 9 laps is a lot of time in these conditions. Maybe, just maybe, we might see some full wet tires here.
Yep, because if you keep on sitting like this, it's more or less you're following what the car ahead does. But if you really need to think and make some moves, probably you might just have to take a gamble or two. And with the rain coming down, yep, it is pretty heavy, Malav, as you said.
Right, so let's see what happens in the next few laps. I think if it's not that heavy, the drivers might want to stick it out on these inters, because if you make a pit stop now, you will lose a lot of time, and unless it is absolutely pouring down, you might not make up that time which you lost because of an additional pit stop.
Right, and the way these drivers are going, I don't see them struggling too much on their exits with the tires right now. So not really sure. I don't think it's time yet for wets.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be the time for wets for sure. It's just that it has started raining heavily than it was. Yep. It is definitely heavier rain. And speaking about Shadow Sword, I think he has now settled into P8. Utkarsh not really under threat from Shadow Sword anymore like he was a few laps earlier. So as it stands, Utkarsh will finish in P7. While I say finish, we are still 8 laps away from the checkered flag, and that's a long time when anything could happen in those 8 laps.
Right, indeed. But yeah, we can still incline towards finishing, since we are talking about pacey, consistent drivers here. So yeah, we can give that to them.
Absolutely, as you can see, VFX so close, but he just can't make a move. It must be so frustrating in that Ferrari of his that he can't make a move. He's trying all the different lines he can, but he is not making his way past. This time he's very close though, so I'll go on board with Sumer and see if VFX can put Ethan under pressure down into that heavy braking zone after the back straight. Here goes VFX, 2 tenths is the gap, and Is he going for it? No, he does not. He has to stay behind. He's forcing or trying to force Ethan into a mistake, but Ethan is seems to be a very seasoned driver. He's not making any mistake.
Yep, I've raced with him on a few occasions on some open practice lobbies and all, and he's a very calm, composed driver.
Yeah, definitely seems like it tonight as well. And we fix once again. You can see that wide entry everyone is taking to favor a good exit out of the corner. Well, they're getting good exits, but they're not getting significantly better exits what they need from the car in front, and hence they are stuck in a formation. Epic Brothers has a good gap to Hushrav now, who seems to have dropped off a little bit, maybe just getting his tires into better shape before he goes for a last lap or a last gasp attempt to challenge for the lead of the race. Azun is also kind of stuck behind Shah, and look at Shadow Sword once again closing up to Utkarsh. Expect an overtake attempt from Shadow Sword pretty soon.
Yep, and P2, P3, P4, they're fairly within a second of each other, so would any of the driver want to take any kind of risk right now, or how is it? Because Bushra seems to have dropped off fairly a lot, and he's still losing tenths, and he's already a couple of seconds behind Epic Brothers.
And Utkarsh pits, and he has a 5-second penalty. Oh, this is not good at all. I can see some puddles there. Is it going to be full wets here tonight?
And is that the reason why Hushrav has
Yeah, there you go. Look
grip?
at that. Utkarsh is on the wets, and you can now see standing water. I could see in the pit lane. VFix is slow through that corner because he has to stay behind Ethan, and Sumer almost running into the back home. You can see definitely a lot of standing water on the track now. This could be very well full wets.
Struggling a lot, so I think he would be heading to the pits in this lap because
If
he's
he
already
pits, he will be giving up a lot of
behind.
track position. He will be down into P9, I believe, if he pits now. And that would be a lot of positions to give. So he might want to just stick it out. Let's see what Ethan can do.
Meanwhile, also Epic, what would Epic Brothers also do? That would also be something to watch out for. Though having the lead, he would just maybe even reduce his pace by a couple of seconds towards the final few laps, but still be able to get the win. So definitely he should be going for the track position. Let's see what these drivers do. We've already seen Utkarsh gaining those positions, going for the wets. But I can see Epic Brothers really being very slow and very cautious through those corners, not deciding to pit at the moment.
Yeah, no one blinks, and I want to keep an eye out on Utkarsh's time, or the gap to Sid Venkatesh is definitely coming down since I last saw it. So Utkarsh seems to be making those wet tires work, but I don't think he has enough time. He was in P7, and I don't think he has enough time to make it back. Shadow Sword pits.
Shadow also in the pit, so I think, see, as much as their pace may reduce, but the chances of making an error because of a lesser grip may also increase in those final few laps. So wets have the ability to give you just that right amount of grip in these conditions than the inters. So we have two drivers now on the wets.
Oh,
so
Utkarsh is back in the pits now. Does he have a wing change? And he has another 5-second penalty. Shadow Sword has just he's retired in the session. Yeah, so that's fair play. He's retired in the pits, and Ethan now, he was the one who was being hunted, but now he is the hunter, and he is on the back of Hushrav, who is struggling big time now. Caesar, your comment, yes, he was gaining quite a lot, but he has retired, so that's will not be able to see that anymore. I want to see what Shadow Sword can do versus Sid Venkatesh, and Shadow Sword was known to make some really good overtakes in the second sector. He's stuck behind Sid Venkatesh right now, and let's see what kind of maneuvers he tries to make to get that P9. And Hushrav is, as you said, is struggling so much right now. The gap 3+ seconds now, and Epic Brothers. Oh yeah, that was fine. I just thought that there was a safety car or something of the sorts, but Shadow Sword behind Sid Venkatesh getting good traction. Yes, he does, and look at the traction once again, brilliant from Shadow Sword, and that's an easy move on Sid Venkatesh. Maybe Sid did not really fight it that much, but Shadow Sword has made his way past. And Ethan on the back of Hushrav now. 2 tenths is the gap. Ethan has made a move. They're going side by side. Hushrav has the inside line, and Ethan is on the outside. Oh, VFX is trying to stay out of trouble as much as he can. Is he going to get Hushrav, or is Hushrav going to dive down the inside? Hushrav goes for a move. Ethan gives him just about enough space. He's run out of the road, but Ethan has made a move for P2. Oh, Sumer, don't try a move there. He was trying for it, but did not really happen. Hushrav has gone wide, and this gives VFX an opportunity, does it? Not really. And the gap to the leader now, 4.5 seconds, Gaurav. Right, so an update from HVP is that Hushrav might have minor wing damage. That's why he's struggling so much, Gaurav, and that explains it. Why he's struggling. But now he's under attack from VFX. Hushrav has 4 more laps to hold on to his P3 after this, and that is an easier job said than done, because on this track you need maximum downforce, especially in wet conditions. So it's not going to be easy for him to hold on to that podium. Let's spectate him and see if I can spot the damage. Does he have an end plate missing? It doesn't seem like it, but it definitely is a damaged car from the looks of it. And next time around, VFX is going to be very close to overtaking him. Riding on board with Sumer once again to see if Hushrav can defend from the charging Ferrari, the prancing horse on the back of the horse. You don't say that very often in real life. Hushrav is slow. He's once again losing traction out of the exit, and I think he might have done just about enough to spook VFX there, and will keep his P3 for one more lap, I believe. Gaurav, are you here, or have you disconnected from the session or the party? It looks like Gaurav is away, so we'll come back to him, and still riding on board with Sumer to see if VFX can make any kind of inroads while he's on the back. So not really much to do in terms of inroads, it's just getting past, which is increasingly difficult in these conditions. And now through the section with the Singapore sling, and now the hairpin. Can VFX go for a move? Does he take a different line than Hushrav? No, he sticks behind for now. And on the traction, it seems like Hushrav has done just about enough to keep it on the podium. Right, so seems like easy level bot or Gaurav has disconnected from the session and he's joined back now. So we'll wait for him to come back, as VFX is running out of laps here and he needs to get past as soon as he can. 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds is the gap to Ethan in front. He has just bolted now. And let's see what VFX can do this time around. We'll once again go on board with Hushrav and see what VFX can do versus Hushrav. Once again Hushrav getting a decent exit out of the right hander, and VFX, it's deja vu for him. We will have two more shots at this on lap 30 and lap 31. Sumer almost losing his car on the exit, but VFX is going down the inside.
On the inside,
Oh,
and it's the
and it's
ocean of
DNF'd.
DNF. He's been.
Oh,
Can you hear me, Mala?
yes, I can hear you just in time, Gaurav. And VFX dived
Oh
down the
my
inside of
god.
Hushrav. There was contact, and Hushrav is in the wall. He has crashed out. And VFX is on the podium. Sumer will finish P4. Well, I say finish. We still have 2.5 laps to go, but it's more drama before the race
I
ends.
Yeah, I just asked the stewards of day one to be really ready with the incident reporting and everything. Because we always know it's Formula One, we've seen it in real life. If competitive drivers and rivals, they would want to do anything to get strip off points from their rivals. So long day ahead at work for a lot of people.
Yeah, long weekend ahead for sure. And
Oh yeah.
that's something I don't want to look forward to.
Stewards more time. I'm so sorry.
Right, so yeah, 2 laps to go after this one. Ethan has cut down the gap to Epic Brothers a little bit, but I think he'll not really be able to catch up to the Alfa Romeo. So I think this would be Epic Brothers' first win of the season. Let me check that before I get corrected on this, as Herschel is just spitting Seb quotes on the chat. That is good to see. Everyone loves Sebastian Vettel. Okay, any more battles? I think Azun has been stuck behind Shah for what feels like an eternity and has not been able to get past the Alpine driver. Okay, driver's points table. Epic Brothers. Well, no wins. He has one pole. This will be his second pole and no wins. So this could be his first win. And I really hope this is not taken away from him like it was in Baku. Let's see what Vicky can do. Vicky has been chasing down and hunting down Sid Venkatesh for the past few laps, and let's see what Vicky can do. Is trying to go down the inside. He waits for a late lunge. He has completely cut the first corner, gets a 3-second time penalty, rightly so, and well, that's one of the most comic failed overtake attempts I've seen. Azun on the back of Shah once again, not really making any inroads. Well, he's getting close, but not close enough. And yeah, I think he'll have to settle for P7 here. And Jin for P5 once again.
So Shah seems to have really struggled a bit on those wet conditions because Jin is 27 seconds up ahead of him.
Yeah, absolutely. So Shah is struggling, but he is doing just about enough.
Very well.
Yep. And we have started the last lap of the race, Gaurav. So no more drama, hopefully now, as VFX does absolutely what he can to keep it in P3. And let's see what Azun can do. Shah is still struggling. And I think he's doing just about enough. Not Sumer within that 1 second gap, but it's not going to help him because he's not close enough to make any kind of an overtake attempt on VFX. So VFX will finish on the podium and will get a points advantage, but yes, that is pending towards inquiry. Does Vicky have any kind of more overtake attempts? I want to see on Sid Venkatesh. Does he once again cut the corner and go for a move, or does he stay behind?
Yep. Hopefully he doesn't hurt himself in the
process.
Oh,
he gets another 3-second. Just as we say that, he gets another 3-second time penalty. That's 9 seconds if I'm not wrong. And yeah, let's have a see. Let's have a 9 seconds for Vicky. And what a drive, Gaurav, from Epic Brothers. He was behind Hushrav on the mediums, Hushrav on the hards. He took advantage of those mediums, put him in the position where he is right now, has done all the hard work, took all the right decisions in terms of strategy, put the car on pole as well. No, I think it was Sumer and Hushrav was on pole. Shadow Sword has retired on the last lap. He will get points on that, but that is a disgraceful way to end the race. But a graceful way to end the race is Epic Brothers, What a brilliant race from this man. He will take his first win of the season and of his Indian Racing League career. It's Pulkit aka Epic Brothers across the checkered flag takes his win. Ethan finishes P2, VFX in P3, Sumer finishes P4, Jin finishes 5th, and we'll have to wait a long while before we see the likes of Shah and Azun crossing the checkered flag. But what a race it has been for the top 4 at least. And for Hushrav, that was a very nasty incident, I believe. Although it was a slow speed crash because of the conditions, but that was still something which he would not have appreciated. And Shah now across the line in P6. That's his best result, I'm being told by Caesar, of this season. He finishes P6, Azun finishes P7. Sid Venkatesh doing everything he can in the points, and P8 for that matter. He qualified P8 and he will finish P8 despite Vicky's best attempts to kind of throw him off his game, but that has not really worked out. So it's Sid Venkatesh in P8, Vicky, the last of the finishers, Gaurav, in P9, and I think he also got another 3-second time penalty at the checkered flag. We'll have to wait and see for the confirmation. But Ethan is the driver of the day according to the game. If we can get Epic Brothers, Ethan and VFix in the party, Gaurav. Let me just quickly check if Vicky has now got 12 seconds of time penalty. Ethan is already in. That's very quick, just like his pace in Singapore tonight. And let's wait for Vicky. Yeah, there you go, 12 seconds for Vicky. That's on the last lap, another time penalty, but that didn't really hurt his position, so it's all fine. Shadow Sword and Hushrav will finish. I did not finish, but they will gain points, I think, from this race because 90% of the race distance was covered. So they will have something to take away from this endurance race. And once VFX and Epic Brothers are in, we can have a quick word with our podium finishers.
I have added them. They should be coming in anytime.
Alright, we'll wait for them. And for some reason, the game is not allowing me to go to the showroom, so we'll have to be stuck on this screen where it has magically stopped raining as well, and see the race results before we do anything else.
It might just probably be because of me and us. I know. No, it's not. But no, it's not because of me. I was in the PS screen, so sometimes the game tends to hold up. But I'm still waiting for the folks. Okay,
alright, so VFX is in. And okay, let's start with VFX then. I'm sure Epic Brothers or Pulkit will join when he can. So VFX, I hope your audio sharing is on and people can hear you on the stream. But just take us through your qualifying. You qualified P5 if I'm not wrong. Was it surprising to see more than just one medium runner ahead of you in qualifying? And then take us through the race as well as the incident with Hushrav in one of the last few laps.
Yeah, qualifying, I mean, my qualifying have been very bad this season. They're in extreme. They're either like really good and pole or like really bad. So, yeah, that was a very bad lap. But at the end, I was just concentrated on getting a legal lap in because for some reason, less than 10 people had done a lap in the entire session. So if I hadn't done that medium lap, then I would have started on, I think, 5 lap old softs, and that would have been race over then and there. But yeah, in terms of the race, just trying to keep it like super safe. That first safety car that came in, I was in 2 minds to pit or not to pit, because I knew that rain was coming soon. But looking back at it, I probably wouldn't have pit to go on a fresher set of mediums. I would have just stayed out. But yeah, that's the deal breaker with racing. There's so many could haves, would haves, should haves. And as for the incident, I'll have to look back at it once because genuinely, I know Hushrav had gotten wing damage a few laps earlier, so some of his corner exits were weird. I saw a chance to get him. So at corner, because he had really bad exit. And then from there on, I really don't know what happened because I took the extreme inside of that line, and I don't know who was ahead going into the corner. So I'll have to take a look at that. But yeah, I mean, as it stands, it's P3, so that's a good result. But then again, I had a lot of pace in the rain again. I think I gained like 5 seconds on Epic Brothers in the 3 laps of clean air that I had. So yeah, it's a Charles Leclerc in Mexico all over again.
I,
Situation for
I
that
said
entire.
that. I definitely said that. It really felt like it when you were, behind Ethan. But Gaurav, any questions for VFix before we move to Ethan?
VFX, first of all, congratulations, great results. So, how do you feel about the Drivers' Championship?
Um, I don't know what is there to feel really. Just
Uh,
I'm not gonna race at China so it's just down to Abu Dhabi now for me. So depending on what happens there, I'll either be really happy or really sad. But anyway, I think I've earned myself a guaranteed pass entry into this party chat next time. So uh, I'll tell you guys in 2 weeks time, but I'm happy or sad.
sure, absolutely. Good luck with it.
Yeah. And please don't make me win off camera.
Right. Okay, Gaurav, why don't you start us off with Ethan?
Ethan, great race. I think you started P14, so I'm not sure you had a ban or anything, but I believe you retired from the session. So
Yeah,
tell us how was your decision making, especially there were mixed conditions during the race.
so I retired because I had a quali ban due to the 3 warnings overall. So yeah, so I started P14 and there were a couple of incidents, however, but I don't think they were my fault personally. Yeah, so interesting race to be fair, but I'm pretty happy I got a podium.
Right,
And
Ethan, just a
you
question. Yeah, Gaurav, continue. Please continue.
you started on the hards, right?
Yeah, I did start on the hards, yes.
So was that because of the rain, or I mean
Yeah,
that's what I'm.
so like I started on the hards because of the rain. I wanted to get ahead of everyone because I saw the guys in front were on softs and mediums. So eventually they would have to pit. So yeah, I think I would have to take advantage of that. Because if I went on mediums, I think that it wouldn't last all the way till the rain came. But there were a couple of VSCs, so it could have worked. But yeah, it is what it is.
Indeed, Malav, to you.
Right, Ethan, just take us through a battle with VFix and Hushrav, and also the conditions towards the end. Do you think it was, if there were more lefts left, you would have pitted for a set of full wets?
Yeah, so regarding Hushrav's and VFX battle, it was bit chaotic. I saw Hushrav hit the wall and he had lost touch with Epic Brothers. Epic Brothers had got like 6 seconds ahead of him. I might have tapped him, but then we were racing side by side, and then I got ahead of him. Then I saw VFix and Hushrav at the back, and yeah, I couldn't see them anymore eventually. The conditions at the end were pretty bad. I mean, it was time for wets, but I don't think you would be able to catch 20 seconds. That's kind of impossible on like 3 laps.
Right, once again, a very strong result from you, Ethan. I think that is another podium for you in the books. So that's a great end to the season you're having, but still 2 races to go. So congratulations once again. And let's move on to the first time race winner, Pulkit or Epic Brothers. Are you here, Pulkit?
Yeah, just a correction. This is my third time.
I was coming to that this probably looks like the time it will actually
Provisional race
stand.
winner.
And I know as stewards we
Provisional
are
race
supposed to
winner.
be provisional race winner. I know as stewards and commentators we are supposed to be neutral, but I really, really hope you haven't done anything,
No, no,
even
I'm clean. I'm
remotely,
clean.
report
I
worthy.
had no touches this time.
Right, just take us to your race, Pulkit. I think you qualified P3.
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 Yeah, P3. Yeah, that's where you qualified on, and you had a decent start. You were within, I think Somer was the only person on the softs in the top five. So after Hushrav dispatched him, you could overtake him as well. Were
Yeah.
you surprised that Hushrav was on the hards when the safety car was deployed?
Yeah, actually I was, because it was pretty clear that it was gonna rain. So I don't know why he went on to the hards, and eventually that is what costed him the win. I think so, because I was able to overtake him pretty easily into turn three, I think it is turn three or turn four. I'm not sure, because the hards just don't work in Singapore. Like they might work later, but then in the starting they have like there's no comparison to either softs or mediums. So I was surprised that he went on to the hards, and I took the chance, and we had a bit of a battle, but it was a clean one. So I'm sure nothing wrong there. But yeah, other than that, I think once Hushrav got front wing damage, it was a pretty boring race for me because he held up everyone up as well. So I didn't see any threats there. And later, like on the later part, the vets were, it was a disaster for me because I'm on the controller, so it's pretty hard. It was getting pretty hard for me to control, and that's why we fixed. I think caught up like 4-5 seconds. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, Ushrav's front wing damage did give me a big advantage.
Right. Gaurav, any questions for Pulkit?
No questions, but congratulations, Epic. Especially at least finally, you will be able to retain your victory here. So
Yeah, I
great
hope so.
job there. Yeah, man. That was, I think your battle with Husha was really clean and respectful, and we really enjoyed the show you guys put.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was a fun battle to watch, although it did not last very long because once Pulkit you overtook Hushrav, you were in a race of your own. But either ways, great job, very well done. Many congratulations to you as well as Ethan and VFX. And I think that's it for the stream tonight. I would like to thank Gaurav once again. I know you had a busy schedule and you were almost not going to make it, but thank you for making it and making this a good event for our followers. Are there any shout outs before we close? I'm assuming from VFX.
Shout out and was somebody commented the T1 race. I mean T2 race. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, with that request in the books, I think it's time to call it a night. Thank you everyone for sticking around. Please like the video if you did, and please subscribe to the channel if you are new to this for weekly Formula One streaming content. We'll see you tomorrow for the reserve division race, and we'll see you next week in China for Division 1 and Division 2. Until that time, this is You Can Beat Me signing off along with Gaurav. Goodbye and good night.